My name is Brian Fraser and I'm an Associate Director for MAC Recruit Group. So in a previous life, I was in retail management, which was unforgiving, living the House of Fraser dream, and I actually got headhunted by a recruiter to go into a new job. 9 months into the new job, I was like, retail aimed for me. I was not loving it. So I actually reached out to the recruiter that headhunted me and said, hey, do you want to go for a coffee? Met up for a coffee, grilled the hell out of her, and basically was like, tell me the good, the bad, and the ugly about recruitment. I used to love doing recruitment, people culture, that sort of thing in retail. So it just made sense to go into that career path, and since then I've just loved it. The biggest lesson I've learned in my career is that people buy from people. So I'm a big believer, and my gran would always say as well, treat people as you want to be treated. So I think it's just knowing, especially in recruitment, that your product is your people. So you really want to just be a good person, just have integrity, be transparent as well. And then in line with that as well, it's so important to just build relationships with people. It's almost kind of like your long-term intellectual property is by building these relationships up. So there's one that I'd really taken to heart lately, and it was something along the lines of spend so much time improving yourself that you don't have time to criticize others. I think in workplaces there's so much toxicity. I think you waste so much time and energy on what the next person's doing. I think if you just really focus on improving yourself, hey, it might be your career, it might be going to the gym, it might be learning a language, that's going to be something that benefits you, rather than just going, oh, Shirley in the office, I hate her, and bitching about her. You know, just focus on yourself in your own lane. Basically, the worst thing that I don't see in a CV is keywords, and what I mean by that is all the tools and the things that you use in your job day to day. So that might be Excel, it might be marketing platforms. If you're a developer, it might be, you know, different types of, you know, programming languages. Essentially, CVs are reviewed so incredibly quickly. There's data out there that suggests only maybe 12 seconds, just pretty wild. But you need to remember that there could be a recruiter or a HR manager that doesn't have a clue what they're recruiting for. So they have a job spec that has keywords and they just match it up with the CV basically. And if they don't see the keywords in the CV, it's a nah. So you need to make sure that you really utilize those keywords and make sure you've got all the nice kind of jargon in there, so your CV is almost the yin to the yang of the job spec that you're applying for. So advice I would give to people who are starting out in their career is learn to work smart. So work hard, yes, but don't just work hard and be a fool. It's about kind of finding that balance as well, and knowing when to say no and run yourself into the ground. Another big thing that I would say as well is learning to listen as well. I am the world's worst babbler, and the most important things that you learn is from listening as well. It also means you connect with people more too. So I think when you're younger, you just kind of want to be in a room and you want to be heard. And I think sometimes it can almost make you look a little bit juvenile, perhaps, if you're just, you know, spouting stuff. So learn to really listen is super, super important.